dream possible. The mission of public education is to give children the knowledge and understanding to succeed academically. Schools are places people know and trust. Therefore, I strongly object to the placement of medical clinics inside our schools and on school property. We will resist any initiative to mix healthcare clinics with the education of our children because it's a huge conflict of interest. We would never think to send our children to a hospital, health department, pharmacy, health system, or any other medical providers to teach them how to do reading, writing, math, science, or art. So why are we bringing those providers to our schools? Why are we mixing the two together? I'll tell you why. Could it be because you've accepted funding from the health department to provide vaccines, contraceptives, hormone blockers, and eventually abortions to our children once they are sent away to schools each day? Who knows what your true motive is, but no. Education is not good. It's strong for self-identity care, mental health care, nor vaccination care. Just teaching kids academic excellence.
Elaborate on the health clinic, because that seems to be a hot topic this evening. Could you talk about its purpose, please?
I would be happy to. If you guys remember when we adopted this year's budget, one of the items was for an employee wellness clinic, which would offer free or low-cost health care, acute urgent care to our employees. The reason that we proposed doing that was because, as we all know, the cost of insurance is rising every year, and we've been looking for creative ways to offer health care to our employees. The item on your consent agenda tonight is renovations to our existing offices at Memorial Stadium, not Memorial High School, to help with our partnership with children that we are negotiating right now in order to provide that clinic to employees.
Perhaps they would better recognize it as David Kirkendall.
That's right, I missaid the name. It is Coach K Stadium now.
So to clarify, this is not going on a school campus.
It is not going on a school campus, and its purpose is an urgent care for employees.
For employees, thank you. Ms. Hartzing, thank you for your patience. You may continue.
Keith Brunson, identifies as a American. There's a blatant lack of reinforcement of patriotism in our schools through our curriculum. The core basics are the areas that contribute nothing to academic excellence. Sadly, FISD students are being taught to be passionate about privilege, pride, and pronouns, social justice, systemic racism, and safe spaces versus love the country. They're being trained to be activists versus tough liberty and death patriots. Feelings and whining rule the day versus mental toughness and fortitude. Why is this happening to our kids? Soft parenting and agenda-driven district who praise our kids to sit rather than stand proudly for the pledge. Ask me how I know. My kids tell me everything. Please inspire our kids to cherish our country and those that die for the freedoms that it provides. Last I checked, anyone who lives in the USC wants to stay in, but no one wants to get out. We can't do that. Thank you.
Nandrigam, followed by Trupti Desai. Vice Renoff.
I'm a student at Centennial High School, and today I stand here to speak on behalf of 4,000 members of our community. After reading through the comments left by this petition that we started, I realized that the messages of parents, peers, and teachers should be spread, not just mine. So today I stand here and I will speak only using comments and left by members of our community. Forgive me if I sound harsh, but it is only because I'm exasperated, and I feel like it would be unjust to my fellow students, teachers, and family members to not express their frustrations with the school board. Bristol ISD has not been prioritizing prevention methods, and in this inaction they have created an unsafe learning environment. As a result, schools like Centennial have reached a 6% infection rate. This is undoubtedly a failure of the district. Not only that, it is irresponsible for the district to take not care for vulnerable children, families, and teachers. Why do we have to put our lives at risk just for an education? The worst part is that this fight was completely preventable. It should have never been this way. Right now, Bristol ISD is pushing local hospitals, nurses, and doctors to the brink because the district is listening to politicians rather than
science. I'm here to represent my community and to speak about the experimental pilot program of combining on-level and advanced classes next year. We are aware that 8 middle schools are currently testing a new model where non-level and advanced integrated language arts are being combined. From experience, I've noted that it is detrimental, humiliating, and demoralizing to children on both sides of the spectrum when they are forced to level up or level down. So many parents move to Frisco so our children can have the opportunity to achieve academic excellence, taking opportunities for advanced learning away from the children of all races in the name of equity is not what Frisco needs. This experiment was done in Fort Worth and failed miserably. The board has made this experimental program mandatory and not even given the option for parents to opt out. Many parents and teachers and I speak to are very concerned about where all of this is headed. How far is Frisco ISD from adopting ideas that most of us consider to be fringe, such as math is racist?
Matthew, followed by Shrika Shaganati. Jenna, you passed? Okay. Shrika, followed by Kelly Pastic.
The pandemic has been hurtful for everyone, and we all want it to end as soon as possible. The key to this is vaccines and masks. It's been proven scientifically by multiple sources that masks are highly effective in significantly lowering the transmission of COVID-19. I have a younger brother who is also a student at FISD. He's 11 years old and in 6th grade and does not have the opportunity to get vaccinated. Every time I'm forced to interact with someone not wearing a mask and not vaccinated.
Ma'am,
Every time I'm forced to interact with someone not wearing a mask.
can I pause for time for a moment? The agenda item speakers were at the beginning. That's how our public comment section works. All agenda items are spoken about at the beginning, and now it's general comment. So that's Please continue. Thank you. Please continue. Ma'am, please. I'm sorry. Shrika, I'm going to ask you to pause, and we're going to start your time over because you've been interrupted quite a few times.
Every time I'm forced to interact with someone not wearing a mask, not vaccinated, I'm putting myself and my brother at greater risk. It's a huge risk to go to school every day and get an education. Should we really be forced to make a choice between safety and an education in Frisco ISD? In addition to the lack of mandate on masks, FISD also does not employ contact tracing. It's clear that mandating masks and COVID precautions are essential to the safety and health of our kids, students, staff, and families at FISD. The petition started by Kate Shaw and Srinath Nandagam of Students for Equity Through Education for mask mandates and COVID precautions has gained immense traction with over 4,300 signatures to date. The district has still chosen to ignore this despite being one that makes its mission to know every student by name and need. Cases are higher this year in schools by a large amount. Frisco Independent School District needs to mandate masks and do something that actually benefits us instead of just neglecting us. If you truly do care about our names and needs, we need a mask mandate right now.
Followed by BJ.
Good evening, Superintendent and the Board of Trustees. I'm Kelly Hardwick. We need to change the way we think and venture outside the normal box of children needing to be in their seats and a desk and in person to be considered real learning. I believe the Frisco ISD should create a new hybrid learning environment that other districts across the nation would also want to emulate. With hybrid, kids can be recovered from home with COVID-19 or quarantining, which will greatly slow the COVID-19 spread in our school and community. Hybrid would also serve to protect us from future epidemics that will surely come our way. Visualize the improvement of STAR scores and GPAs. If we put our efforts together, Frisco ISD would not only lead this district out of COVID, but demonstrate leadership across the country on how an effective hybrid learning model is great for emergencies in the future. We can build the future learning model, but if you don't let us in and add us to the agenda so we can share our awesome ideas that the board doesn't seem to have at this time. Thank you.
Hello. Just a few points. This is a result-oriented work environment. That's what most employers are doing right now. Why can't we do result-oriented learning? Right? Make it virtual, make it hybrid. Right? Look at the facts. Common sense over ego over politics. Facts. If you look at the metrics published on Texas.gov for the Collin County, week over week, it's about 20% spike in COVID cases. Simple math. Right? 160 since the week of 24th week, and next week goes 200. Just most large employers, Microsoft, Twitter, LinkedIn, have gone virtual. Why can't us go virtual?
Good evening, everyone. My name is Lisa Kirby. I am a Frisco ISD parent and a registered voter. Tonight I'm going to share a story with permission from the mom. I am saddened to share details about an 11-year-old boy who has COVID pneumonia and is currently in a hospital. He has no health conditions and no pre-existing conditions. I ask that you pray for this student and their family in the speedy recovery. Thank you very much. At the beginning of August 9th in the board meeting, during the COVID protocol updates, the following statement was made. The Department of Health Services has added COVID-19 to its communicable disease list. I have learned that the Frisco ISD has a public vaccination clinic program. It offers flu vaccines to students, family, and staff. It's an on-site program. It's offered to...
Thank you. Your time has expired. And I'd like to mention too, for those of you that have additional comments to share with the board, please email them to us later tonight, tomorrow, sometime this week. I know a minute is quick. Alka, followed by Karen Dillsby.
Hello, I'm here to speak on behalf of Andy, who's 11-year-old at Gunstream Elementary. I'm speaking with permission from his parents. His family kept him safe for a year and a half by wearing masks and practicing proper social distancing. Andy and his sister tested positive for COVID 3 weeks into in-person school. After spending the weekend in the ER for hypoxia and dehydration, Andy was sent home only to be brought back right away by his parents to the ER for worsening symptoms. He's currently getting treated for COVID pneumonia at Children's Hospital. He's sick, in need of a pediatric bed, but stuck in the ER because the hospital is out of beds. His family wants state and school leaders to stop playing the politics and keep all children safe by taking a stand like many other school districts in Texas have with mask guidelines, not mandates, mask guidelines. HEPA 13 portable air purifiers in high exposure areas such as cafeterias and gyms can decrease the viral load by more than 50% if currently used. I urge Frisco ISD to collaborate with local businesses that supply the air purifiers and provide children with safe.
This is Dillsky. I can't read the last name, I'm sorry. Followed by Vasana Kalapuri. No hair, is there hair? Okay. Vasana Kalapuri, make your way to the podium, please. No? Okay, awesome, folks. Oh, is that you? Come on up.
Is it P-A-S-A-N-T-H?
Yes. It would have been funny if I said no. Like, no, sorry, it's a J. I'm just kidding.
Before start and end, each goes in like G.
You can just leave it at the podium and we'll grab it after.
Yes, sir.
Yes, please do.
The wearing a mask is something that has been proven to be effective. You can look at any science, any data, any statement. But for many, it's not about wearing the mask itself, but the mandatory nature of doing so. In a liberal democracy, we respect individuals' liberties by allowing them to make decisions for themselves, even if we don't always agree with those choices. Mandatory policies eliminate the individual choices for the benefit of the group. In the context of a global pandemic, the inconvenience of wearing a mask for the individual is vastly outweighed by the potential benefit. The harms of the pandemic have not just come from the virus itself, but the measures taken to prevent it. The isolation and lockdown, the loss of employment, and the impact on education. Wearing a mask is a super small price display to avoid negative consequences during these harmful times. Liberty is important, yes, but it's one value among many that we should feature in our response to the crisis. Overarching all of this is one final value: solidarity, the willingness to bear burden in order to help others in the shared circumstances. Now, since Frisco IC has reported the highest number of COVID cases in North Texas in just 2 weeks, we need to take action. With a whopping 1,931 cases of COVID-19 as of today, we need to take action.
Thank you. Next speaker is Judah Calacorti, followed by Christopher Weldon.
Okay, my name is Sudha Kalapati and I'm a parent of 2 students who go to school in Frisco, and I would like to speak regarding the current attendance policy. Currently, all absences, both excused and unexcused, count towards the 90% attendance rule. This includes absences due to personal illness as a result of COVID-19 or voluntary quarantine due to COVID symptoms. A student shall not receive a grade without 90% attendance. While I understand being absent from school impairs a student's opportunity to succeed in studies, these are not normal times, and with the increasing number of COVID-19 cases in the past few weeks, I asked the school board to consider making changes to the current attendance policy. The excused absence due to COVID-19 or voluntary quarantine due to COVID-19 symptoms should be per occurrence, not for the whole academic year. Also, they should be counted towards the 90% attendance rule. They shouldn't be counted towards the 90% attendance rule as long as the student follow the quarantine protocols for 2021-22 disease mitigation.
Thank you very much. Christopher Weldon, followed by Catherine Shaw.
Almost every other day, my middle school son has received notice about a student in his class having COVID. The district as a whole has reported almost 2,000 cumulative cases since the start of the school year. I'm deeply concerned, both for my son's safety as well as my daughter's safety, who's at home. My daughter is at increased risk for seizure when she has fever. If anyone brings this disease home, she's at risk. I'd like the board to adopt common sense measures to help reduce the spread of COVID. Mandate masks for students and teachers. This shouldn't be a political debate. We send our schools to one of the best districts in the nation to learn many subjects, including science. We must be a bastion of education by allowing science to guide our decisions and help how to keep our children safe. Personal responsibility has been the mantra for not mandating masks, and yet the case counts show that it's failing. There are plenty of rules that are mandatory for the safety of himself and others. Our governor may have been a bully to the school districts for long enough. Our other school districts have chosen to take up the fight and do what's right for their students and their populations, and refuse to allow politics to drive medical reasoning.
Followed by Dr. Nicole Eastman.
Good evening. My name is Catherine Shaw, and I'm a senior at Heritage High School. A few weeks ago, my friend Chanel and I started a petition asking Frisco ISD to take more COVID-19 precautions, such as enforcing a mask mandate for students and staff, continuing contact tracing, encouraging sanitization during school day, and promoting and educating students on respiratory etiquette. We've received an amazing amount of support on our petition that now has over 4,300 signatures. The bottom line is that we care about our safety and want more to be done. The rising cases in the district is alarming, to say the least. When kids go missing in class for more than 2 days, we know exactly why. There are more than 2,100 students on my campus, making it virtually impossible to socially distance. The district is not exempt from the COVID crisis, nor are we untouched. What are we waiting for? It's bad now, and it's going to get worse. We understand that Governor Abbott has placed several orders that restrict the precautions and mandates school districts can enforce, but at one point, can we stop worrying about funds and pushback and start prioritizing our health and safety?
We can earn money back in the future, but we can't get someone's life back. I know First FISD cares deeply about its students, staff, parents, family members, and community, and I hope you take the necessary steps to keep us all safe. Thank you for your time.
I have personally been saved in a near fatal accident because I wore a seatbelt. That layer of protection is part of why I'm here tonight. Two, I have also held my dad's hand as he died at 53 years of age, sharing, quote, "I know what I need to do." He didn't get a second chance at life like I did. There were preventative factors that were overlooked, which cost him his life. His decisions and the consequences affected those who loved him. Three, my son did virtual for all of second grade at Frisco. He excelled academically and struggled emotionally. He and his sister love in-person school. They need that for their social, emotional development, and overall well-being. Both wear masks all day and have never complained. Kids model what they hear at home. Number four, my son's class has had 2 COVID-19 cases letters sent home over the last 2 weeks. Last week, a teacher and herself were both out, so my son's teacher had both of these classes. Number five, my daughter's kindergarten class has this saying which goes like this: take care of myself, take care of others.
Thank you,
take
your
care of
time is
this place.
expired. Mona Khalid, followed by Nita Bossing.
Good evening, respected board members of FISD. I acknowledge you to give me an opportunity to speak here. I'm Dr. Mona Khalid. I'm a mother of 2 kids, aged 5 and 13, who both attend FISD. I'm also a physician working as an internal medicine physician at a major hospital in Collin County, treating COVID patients since the pandemic started. So I have the first-hand knowledge of how this disease has affected our lives. I'm here today to tell everybody and all of you that I've been protecting my family since the pandemic has started. However, my 5-year-old, she started going to school, and within a week she got infected with COVID. I won't go into the details how it went, but not everybody gets lucky. Thanks God she's doing well now. I'm here today to speak for all you and little ones. I want FISD to start taking improve their measures against COVID-19 and take more precautions and safety measures and start following the guidelines recommended by CDC and Medical College of Pediatrics and Medical College of Physicians, which includes universal masking regardless of vaccination status. The highly contagious Delta variant has already killed hundreds of thousands of lives.
Followed by Dr. Vidushi Gola.
Good evening, my name is Nita Baluja. I'm a parent of 2 children, 4 and 2nd grader. 2 weeks ago, my daughter in her 4th grade class got COVID-19 from exposure at school. So as of right now, I've withdrawn her from school because I do not feel it's safe for them to return at this point. Because within the week, my daughter's 4th grade class had 7 to 8 cases of COVID-19 that were positive, and we don't know how many more kids were affected by that. So I would urge you to please follow CDC guidelines and bring back all the social distancing and mask mandates that were in place last year so my kids can return back to school safely. Thank you.
Dr. Gola, followed by Steve Reichert.
I'm Dr. Vidushi Gola, hospitalist, which means I work with acute illness once a patient is admitted in the hospital. I have cared for hundreds of COVID patients over the last 18 months, and my group has spent more than 15,000 working hours in the COVID units. The main things that protected us from infection were masks, PPE, and the vaccine. I'm extremely disappointed with the FISD as a parent in this district. I have provided the board with excellent articles from all over the country proving that masks are effective in stopping the spread. This infection is preventable. What is it that you do not believe in masks, distancing, and other measures? Why is there such blatant inaction by the board? Why don't you strongly encourage or mandate masks or the vaccine? If you do not believe in science, then how do you think kids in the school will believe in anything that they're being taught? members and principals are refuting well-studied scientific literature.
Thank you, your time has expired.
Hi, my name is Steve Rankin. I just wanted to come on first and kind of commend the board first for the fact that we had virtual learning as an option. Which I thought was a good first step. But for a lot of kids, that doesn't really work and they need to be in school. And if they're going to be in school, we need to go the next step for masks and things like that, which now, because of the Delta variant, it's a different virus than a year ago. Where we weren't as worried about kids last year, we really are this year. As the big people have been saying, we've had 2,000 cases already, and the kids are ending up in hospitals. So I just want to strongly encourage more use of masks and a mask mandate for this.
Followed by Izan Daita. Anyone? Zoe Young.
With data provided by the CDC, the death rate for COVID for children is 0.02%. To give you the perspective, the flu in the 2018-2019 season for children had a death rate of 0.85%, a 42.5 increase. Whereas you can see the flu was more deadly to kids in one season than COVID has been since the first case in America. What is the reason why we're not doing kids? These kids don't wear masks correctly anyway. Re-wearing masks creates breathing
Please be respectful of our speaker.
leading to worse respiratory issues, not to mention the negative mental impacts children have when they're still developing with facial recognition and speech. It's time to take a stand for these children, board. You're their blockade. We're asking you to relieve these parents the freedom of choice for their own children's health. Thank you for remaining strong, and please continue to do so.
Followed by Harold Jimenez.
Good evening, Board of Trustees. My name is Alok Dutta, and I'm here to urge you to consider the mask mandate for the schools. If you look at the most recent CDC report, it shows that the number of COVID cases in kids without masks is 3.5 times that of kids with masks. The transmission rate 3 months back was down to 5 every 100,000 people in Denton County, and with the Delta variant, it's gone up to 45 in the month of September. The ICU utilization is at 98%. As a parent of a 10-year-old, I don't think I need to be making a choice of sending my kid to school with the risk of getting COVID or not sending and getting emotional and mental issues with the child. So I would strongly urge you to introduce the mask mandate and let the kids enjoy the schools as they should. Thank you.
Harold Jimenez, followed by Vishali Shati.
Good evening. My name is Harold Jimenez. I have 3 daughters that's attending high school, and I have 1 son at Cali. I'm a board-certified emergency doctor practicing here in our communities. And I'm here to ask you to please implement a mask mandate to put a stop to this madness, provide a safe environment for our children to go to school, for our teachers to teach, and for our community to be safe. This is an intratracheal tube. This is what goes in people's throats when COVID takes their ability to breathe. They go on a ventilator, and many of them never
Please be
come.
respectful of our speaker.
I'm sorry?
It's asking them to please be respectful of you as you're speaking.
Many of these people don't come off the ventilator. I have seen it every day. Our hospitals, ICUs, emergency departments are full. We don't have any more ventilators. Masks work. Some people choose to wear them, some people don't, but they work. So our choice is now, we either make something like this work, or we wait and see how many of these we're gonna need in a few weeks?
Good evening, everybody. This is Anita Chakri, and I'm here as a parent of an 11-year-old. And the main reason we moved here is because of this FISD, which is openly available. And my daughter just passed out from heritage this year only. And the only thing I'm here is I saved my life 5 years back. I was in a hospital for a long time. I'm at a very big health risk. And if my own doctors, my only hope is doctors and experts and scientists, right? If they are saying masks help, and please promote mask mandate. So what else can I do? I just have to follow those rules. Though my kid is not happy, he's doing virtual, I have to keep him home. It's not about him, he's worried about me. So let us just follow the science, respect the researchers and the scientists. So finally, CDC is not wrong. There must be some research.
Please be respectful of our speaker, and
thank you so much.
thank you so much. Tonight in our boardroom, we have varying opinions on some very divisive issues. All I'm asking is to allow everyone to speak, regardless of if you agree with them or not. We have children in the audience, we have our students here. As adults, we need to be modeling conflict resolution and healthy behavior. Dara Sarong, followed by Padma Ann.
Hello. Hi, my name is Zara. My daughters go to Frisco ISD. I'm here to request you for mask mandate, and the reason is this is not optional, this is required. Why? Because Delta variant is 200% transmissible than the previous strain. Every time the strain comes in, it's more powerful and dangerous. Our kids do not have vaccines. We are sending them every day to school, hoping and praying they don't catch COVID. Though she wears masks, but there are other kids who do not wear masks when they are asymptomatic. They share the same space. I believe prevention is better than cure. Let's work together with a collective approach to flatten the curve, stop another wave, stop hospitalization, reduce the spread, reduce the anxiety. I feel previously we used to say it takes a village to raise kids, but in COVID time, I think it's a collective approach by all of us to keep these kids safe. So I kindly request you, everyone, that for us, we have like 2 or 3 for you. It could be just the students of Frisco ISD, but for us, there are lives.
Padma, followed by Kanika Junja.
Hi, I'm Padma Anne. I am a physician and I have 2 boys in Cali Elementary. I have a different approach. I know you've heard about from all these people about masks. Can you please mandate masks until at least my kids get vaccinated? I kept them safe for 1.5 years. Can you help me keep them safe for the next few weeks until they get vaccinated? Your kids are all vaccinated, right? My kids are not. Give them a fighting chance, please. I have a letter from Cook's Physicians, Cook's Children's Hospital. 170 pediatricians signed this. You trust your pediatrician, right? Why not trust the same pediatrician when you're making life-changing decisions for my kids? And governor's order, look at Plano and Frisco, same state, same governor. They did it, we can do it too.
Good evening. I'm a parent of 4 children at Frisco ISD. 3 of them are under 12. I'm here tonight to urge the board to provide clean, safe air for our children. You can do that by using high-grade MERV 13 filters for your HVACs and by providing HEPA 13 portable air purifiers in classrooms, locker rooms, band rooms, gyms, and cafeterias. When 200 students take their masks off in the cafeteria to eat lunch at the same time, extra ventilation and air purifiers are needed to protect them. To decrease the spread, I respectfully ask that the ISD use ESSER funds, partner with local businesses, PTAs, parents, to provide better ventilation and HEPA 13 portable air purifiers. This is proven technology and recommended by the CDC and FDA for its safe return to schools and do not interfere or impact the HVAC systems. Please provide our children with better ventilation so our children can breathe clean, safe air now.
Hi, I'm a surgeon and a mother of 4 Frisco ISD students. A few weeks ago, my 6th grader went to the nurse with a tummy ache, and he was shocked the nurse had no mask on. Can you imagine how he felt sitting in there with the kids near him in the nurse's office coughing? He was worried about his loved ones who were immunocompromised at home. The Frisco ISD newsletter this month said September is Preparedness Month, and the motto says, preparing for disasters is protecting the ones who love.
All right now.
Help our students protect the ones that they love by simply wearing a mask. It's kindness to others. At least at the school nurse's office where sick kids go. Yay.
Followed by Justin Harville.
Good evening, board members. I request the board to use the ESSER funds that are received as a part of federal rescue plan towards what it is meant to be used for. That is COVID mitigation strategies recommended by CDC. It can be mask mandates, contact tracing, enhancing virtual learning for kids that are choosing to quarantine, being in contact with a COVID positive person, as well as having the excused absences extended to beyond 95% attendance that is required to move to the next grade. I'm a parent of 2 kids in FISD, and every morning I have a gut-wrenching feeling while sending them to school. I need to see them protected while they are learning in school and know that the school has the best interest of their best interest at heart. I request you to make mask mandates.
Thank you.
My name is Justin Harwell. At the August meeting of the Frisco City Council, the council reviewed and agreed to sustain the right of our citizens to have up to 5 minutes to speak. This forum allows at most 2 minutes to speak. More often, like tonight, speakers have only 1 minute due to the large number of citizens clamoring to be heard. I reviewed public comment policies for 27 nearby school districts. Frisco stands alone at the very bottom of the list, where every other district grants at least 3 minutes under normal circumstances. A large number of residents volunteering to speak at board meetings should speak volumes to you about concerns Frisco taxpayers have for the direction of this district. You should listen to every word they have to say. You should stay here until midnight on one Monday evening a month, until every voice is heard, and if that's what it takes. I may not agree with the views expressed by every citizen who speaks, but I will defend their right to do so. My mother was a teacher for over 40 years. She told me never to do the bare minimum, always go the extra mile. 1 minute may be the bare minimum considered reasonable under the Texas Open Meetings Act, but it's not even close to enough.
Thank you.
Stop.
Christian Trimble, followed by Corey Gumathan.
Thank you for your time. I have 3 children in Frisco ISD School District, and I'm an oncology project manager who works closely with major pediatric hospital systems in the DFW area. I'm here to share with you what I'm hearing from pediatricians daily
that their ICUs are near capacity, at capacity, or over capacity due to the increase in pediatric COVID cases. Many of the hospitals are scrambling to add ICU capacity just to keep up. They are also anticipating the current rise in cases to extend into the fall and winter. The fact is that normal, healthy kids are getting sick enough to require ICU care, and many are dying from COVID. The pediatricians that manage the ICUs are pleading with people to do 3 simple things: get vaccinated, regularly wash your hands, and wear masks. For these reasons, I'm asking the board to implement a mandatory mask policy for the Frisco ISD school year for 2021-22, much like some of our neighboring school districts have already done.
Is it Showery? Showery. Yeah. And then followed by Joseph Menhillian.
We were a family that did everything right. And yet my younger brother, fully vaccinated and always masked in your schools, got the virus. In the days he was gone, he missed 2 football games that he was looking forward to for a year, auditions for a fall play he spent countless days preparing for, and a plethora of assignments and assessments. In those 10 days, our family missed a baby shower that was being planned for months, and my parents lived in constant fear and stress and anxiety. Someone else's freedom to not wear a mask cost my family, a family that was fully vaccinated and followed every rule for years, our freedom to live peacefully and safely in our very own home. In what world does this make any sense? Whose freedoms is district really protecting? Is it the freedoms of the careless and inconsiderate? The freedoms of the deniers of clear science and basic facts? You members were elected to be leaders and helpers, but instead you've sadly shown yourselves to be incompetent people who turn a blind eye to a serious crisis in our schools. Shame on you for making innocent families suffer. In order for you to please those who do not care less about Frisco students, staff, parents, neighbors, and loved ones. We need a mask mandate now for the sake of every student and every kid in this
Joseph Menhillian, followed by June Jenkins.
Good evening. Thank you for the opportunity to speak to you today. I'm an FISD parent, and I applaud you first of all for your leadership in offering online education for young children. I'm here today to request the same boldness that you exercised previously to do so regarding masks. My older son currently attends in-person school at Centennial. The lack of masks on display in the school is a source of great concern as we worry about our son who's vaccinated, bringing COVID home to his younger brother who is not. I urge you not to be distracted by a vocal minority and instead focus on the majority of us who want nothing more than our kids to return to the classroom safely. And masks have proven to be effective way to reduce the spread. I therefore humbly request you to introduce a mask mandate for FISD schools till the COVID cases are brought under control. And let's do so for our most precious asset. We spend a lot of lip service about family values and kids and how precious they are. They are really precious. Let's do it for our kids.
June Jenkins, followed by Jerry Fuller.
Good evening. My name is June Jenkins. I'm with the Collin County NAACP. Responsibility of trustees are to work with the superintendent and staff to set the direction of the school district with the education and well-being of our school children as their primary focus. And that's what I'm here for today. Right now, our kids are at risk. Just last week, Frisco ISD was ranked number 8 in the state of Texas with over 1,100 cases. It's our kids that are at jeopardy at this point in time, and it's imperative that you act. I think that we feel as though you need to develop and be courageous and develop a threshold of what you will accept as the number of cases that will impact our children. No one wants a child to die under our care. I ask that you act responsibly, you act boldly, and you act courageous. Thank you.
30 years, just retired paramedic. We made a habit of putting masks or oxygen masks really on sick people, and haven't really had to worry about it that much ourselves. I can tell you, look at these ball games at the stadiums. They're packed in there like sardines. I'm surprised people aren't going to the hospital from that. But I think you'll have an opportunity here to embrace these exploding number of people that want to raise their kids and take responsibility for their medical well-being and for their social outlooks on race issues, and they're showing up in big numbers, and they're in the background, they're getting ready to show up in really big numbers. So it's just a tip. I think y'all should embrace that and appreciate it, because in the past generations, we kind of let the schools raise our kids.
Thank you.
So I'm just here to remind everybody that we live in Texas, and that our governor on May 18th passed an executive order that prohibits government entities, which includes public schools, from mandating masks. So these people can't do that for your kids. That is a choice that you guys, because you live in this great state of Texas, get to make for your own kids. Also, I want to remind you guys that these kids said—
Ma'am, I'm sorry, can you please address the board with your public comments and not the audience?
4,000 students signed a petition when there's actually 64,000 students in your district that didn't sign that petition for whatever reason, so we need to listen to them. If your masks work, why are kids still getting, if your masks and your vaccines work, why are kids still getting still getting COVID? If your masks work, send your kids to school in masks, but you can't force kids to wear masks in schools. It's actually child abuse, and because we live in Texas, we have the right to not do that. So I just wanted to remind everybody here that that's what we're doing, and same thing for the board. We still live in Texas, and our governor has spoken. Thank you.
Followed by Shruti Mehta.
Follow me on Instagram. 25,000 followers.
Hello, I'm here to voice my concern about not bringing back the mask mandate. I have two daughters at FISD. It's a myth that masks prevent viruses from spreading. The overall evidence is clear. Masks offer next to no protection against virus-sized particles. The size of a virus particle is much too small to be stopped by a mask. A single virus in SARS-CoV-2 is 60 to 140 nanometers, or 0.1 microns. The pore size in a surgical mask is 200 to 1,000 times that size. Wearing a mask to prevent catching SARS-CoV-2 is like throwing sand at a chain link fence. It doesn't work. As such, virus particles can enter through the mask pores, yet bacteria remain trapped inside the mask, resulting in the mask wearer continually exposed to the bacteria. Additionally, children have been repeatedly shown not to be the drivers of the contagion. It is well accepted that children have a statistically 0 chance of dying from COVID. The CDC shows the K-12...
Thank you, your time is up.
Respected board members and community at large, I'm here requesting you for a mask mandate. Here's the truth and tragedy of COVID-19. You might kill someone and never know. Wearing a seatbelt in a car doesn't guarantee living through that accident, but usually does improve odds. Masks, it's more comfortable than a ventilator. It's cheaper than a hospital or a funeral. Board members, I have a 4th grader in Frisco ISD, keeping her safe for the last 1 year as a virtual student. Chose going virtual again, so I thank you for that option that you've given us to stay virtual. She is performing very well academically, but she's emotionally turmoil by not meeting her friends. I really request you to keep preventive measures at large at school so I can make her join back face to face along with her friends in school. Save our children.
Thank you.
illustrate a concern or opinion. If you say that you said that if 1 minute isn't enough time to deliver our full remarks, that we should email them to the board so that they can at least be read. Well, I did just that after the last meeting where I, like most others, didn't have enough time to finish my brief message. Since I wanted to make sure everyone on the board did in fact see my full emailed remarks, at the beginning of my email I asked each board member to please reply acknowledging receipt. Really, all you had to do was open the email to be able to see that my request in the first couple of lines. You didn't actually have to read all the way to the bottom. I received a reply affirming receipt from just 2 of our 7 board members. If 5 out of 7 aren't even opening emails from public comments that are cut short, that's clearly not an acceptable substitute for being heard in the board meeting. I think there's a growing perception that our district culture is one where input from parents is too often carefully avoided so that it doesn't happen.
Thank you.
All the parents an option as far as sending their kids to school with masks or not. I appreciate that. I just want to touch briefly on the on-level program, pilot program. For a lot of people that don't know that pre-AP and AP classes at the middle school level and ILA are being removed under the guise of being on a one level, combining the classes together with on-level kids. I have a child that had a learning disability with dyslexia. He was promoted into pre-AP ILA because of his abilities. Instead of them dumbing down the class to teach everybody what they thought he might be able to do, he was risen up and given the opportunity, and he was shown that his disability does not hold him back. It gave him the courage to continue AP and pre-AP classes in high school. He is now a history major in college because teachers at the middle school level saw his potential and encouraged him to push himself versus trying to bring the levels down to him. And
Hello. I just want to start off by saying, whatever they're paying you, they're not paying you enough. I have never seen such a display of hostility by what I thought were my neighbors, friends in a community of Frisco. This is not the Frisco that I know, and I sincerely apologize on behalf of all the people that are not here tonight who actually can have a decent conversation among neighbors and friends and discuss things that are important, which was my point tonight on the health of our children. And again, I sincerely apologize. Whatever I'm going to say to this group is not going to have any impact. My condolences and good night.
Item 9A, consider an act on approval of minutes from August 3rd special meeting, August 9th regular meeting, August 13th special meeting, and August 25th special meeting. If there are no questions, I will